Today we're going to be reviewing the Spellbook cards, the Arcane deck for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Really excited about this, so let's get started. I didn't really get into playing Dungeons & Dragons until around the 4th edition. First exposure to it was actually in the 3rd edition in high school, so until 5th edition my main driver was 4th. One of the redeeming factors that I thought 4th edition had was the spell sheets, and I remember needing to print 2 or even 3 sheets in order to have all the possible spells that my wizard character would use. The perks with that, though, is I didn't need to actually go into the player's handbook all the time in order to look up my spells, and I also didn't have to have a computer sitting in front of me, which would distract me from actually playing the game. Fast forward to 5th edition, and the ability to view spells has never been easier to do. There's third-party apps, D&D Beyond, and other services that will accomplish what the spell sheets did in 4th edition, but someone like me, even to the annoyment of my dungeon masters, I prefer to run my characters from the print sheets instead of something like D&D Beyond, and that information online is generally behind a paywall, so I kind of like to have that information just directly in front of me. One thing that I'm so happy that Wizards of the Coast decided to do was to create these spellbook cards for different classes. There's not only Arcane, but there's stuff for Rangers, Paladins, you name it. And today we're going to be looking specifically at the spellbook Arcane. So let's go ahead and take a look at what some of these cards look like. So if you remember in 4th edition, they're kind of similar, except the good thing here is that these are like chopped out, and you can just play them like in front of you, and then when you like use them up, I mean, you just can turn them over. So it's really cool, and there's a ton of them here. Like, if you see the size of these decks, it's pretty crazy. Hold on here. Okay, so tons of decks. We have a bunch of blank cards for filling in some new stuff that may not have come with it when you bought the box to begin with, and that's really nice. So looking a little closer here, it says what the spell is, what type of spell it is, the amount of time it takes to cast, the range of the spell, the components you might need, and the duration of the spell, as well as a very good description on what it actually is. The cards, they don't exactly feel like Magic the Gathering cards, but they are pretty durable feeling. They almost feel like you could take a dry erase marker or something like that onto them, and as long as you erase them pretty soon, they'd be fine. But it also gives you the level of the spells kind of on the back of the card here, which I think is really neat. And there are just tons of these cards. So going through and picking them for your character, or even picking them through as a dungeon master, is really helpful. Whoop. I'll have a link in the description for a place where you can go ahead and pick this up. It's probably the most expensive of all the spell books, but it's probably the most worth it, especially with the amount that you get out of it. And playing a wizard character or being a dungeon master, you're really going to just want this on hand. So I highly recommend checking that out. If you guys are interested in more reviews for different spell books, just let me know which ones you're looking for, and I would be happy to cover them. We'll be covering the Ranger one soon, as well as many other Dungeons & Dragons related stuff. You'll be able to check out more of this stuff at dickwizardry.com, and go ahead and subscribe for future content. Thank you.